All right, Mr. Dewitte, good afternoon. You've been arrested on a warrant for which a court has already determined probable cause for failing to report a change on a vehicle pursuant to the requirements, the reporting requirements in Florida statutes. The bond on this case will be set at $5,000. Did you want to be heard before I go further, Mr. Ladon? There's a few matters I have to deal with here on Mr. DeWitte's case.
I'm aware, unfortunately, of those matters, Judge. At least I'm aware of one of those matters, I should say. I don't want to presume anything. No, Judge, we're set for trial call in front of Judge Karsten on Monday, and so it was my hope to get Mr. DeWitte out, expeditiously so that we can be present for that and figure out where we are in the pecking order of that trial. But I'm understanding there may be a federal matter that's going to preclude me from doing anything. So my only ask of the court is to grant the bonds as you can. I understand Jim Scuthan with the Public Defender's Office at the federal level is trying to resolve or recall a federal detainer. And so if that's done, I hope to have my client with me in court on Monday. And if it's not done, then I'll deal with it.
Okay. I see the state is standing. Ms. Lewis?
Yes, Your Honor. Just two quick matters. I've already been advised that you're aware of the detainer on him, and I want to make sure that that's on the record. And then secondly, I know that Your Honor's already set a bond at $5,000. I would just ask if you could set it higher if you're willing to give an assistance. Consider that.
All right. I did look over the case before determining to set bond at $5,000, so I'll go ahead and stick with a $5,000 bond. However, Mr. DeWitte, as you know, I believe, or should know, you are out on bond on a couple of cases, both out of Osceola County. One is 22 CF 3688, I believe, 3688 PTR?
Yes, that is.
Okay, and that was a similar type of charge, failure to report a change in vehicle. And then also in 23 CF 236 out on bond on a violation of sexual offender registration requirements. Based upon the offense date in this new case for which probable cause has been found, actually this offense date is 23. So I would need to see the offense dates state, if you have those. I would need to see the date that the defendant was placed on bond in those two cases before I decide I can revoke bond.
Right. And Judge, while they're looking for that, I wanted to add, I was before Your Honor, coincidentally, you were doing IAs, I don't know, about a month ago maybe, Your Honor, and Mr. DeWitte had a similar charge brought before the court, similar circumstances, and he was granted release. There's not been any motion filed by the state seeking pretrial detention. I haven't been put on notice of that. Obviously, the court can do it sua sponte, and I understand the court's authority to do that. But again, in light of where we are set for trial before Judge Karsten and the complexities of this, I would ask that maybe you let the federal detainer be the hold that keeps him here if it needs to, but that we don't make this any muddier than it already is. The accusations, as I understand them, are that he rented a vehicle in his name, and they're accusing him of not notifying the sheriff's office of that. The reporting requirement only indicates that he's required to do it if the vehicle is going to be physically present at his residence for 5 or more days. I know we're not here to litigate the case, but that's the essence of the violation. It's not a violent offense. It's not an offense that he's somehow obscuring something, and he turned himself in, knowing all of those things are pending. And so hopefully that's a sign of good faith on his part that he'll show up and do the things he needs to do in court. He's not a flight risk in that regard. I can't do anything about the federal detainer, nor can the court. I understand that. But I'm hoping that we don't interfere with the flow of this, because I'm hoping to close that other case out, and then it becomes a moot issue.
Your Honor.
All right. Yes.
He's also out on bond for 23 CF 843 for Orange County.
Okay, I need to know when he bonded on those 3 cases, the date he bonded. I don't have that in front of me, of course, at the moment. State?
Yes, Your Honor, just for clarity, I believe the case numbers that you provided were 22 CF 3688 and 3 CF 236.
Correct?
I see a bond, looking at benchmark, the clerk's site, posted for July 3rd for both of those 2 cases.
July 3rd of what year?
2023, Your Honor.
Okay. And as to the case that was just referenced, 23 CF 843, PTR, do you know when he was obviously well, I'm not gonna say obviously. Do you know when he bonded on that?
Give me 1 second, Your Honor.
23 CF 843.
Car accident.
Oh.
It looks like the bond was filed on June 28th, 2023.
Okay, and when you say it looks like that, what do you predicate that observation on?
I'm reading off of the Orange County clerk document.
Okay. All right, I respect the request, Mr. Ladonna, but I will, because this offense that's alleged and probable cause has been found subsequent to the defendant being put on bond on similar cases, I will revoke bonds on 22 CF 3688, 23 CF 236, and 23 CF 843, and bond will be zero on each of those cases. Next court date, Madam Clerk? You'll receive. All right, thank you, Mr. Dewitte.
And Judge, just for the sake of making sure we don't run into any problems, can we have a note put to have him transported on Monday for his trial call so that I don't run into a problem?
How long has he been in custody?
Since yesterday, he turned himself
okay.
on the bond, so.
Yeah, I will, when IAs are done, I will let Debbie Hafner know he needs to be transported for Judge Karsten. And that is for Monday?
It's a trial call on Monday, Judge. I'll do the same, but I don't have the same authority you do. So if you can get him out, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I will.